Tonight. And our next bout, our main event. Eddie Croft and Jerome Coffey fighting it out 12 rounds for the WBC Continental America's Super Bantamweight Championship. Croft, a youngster, only 17 fights, but he is undefeated. On the other hand, Jerome Coffey, and there he is, there's Jerome right now getting ready in his corner, is a guy who has been fighting for quite a while. 34 years old, been a pro since 1980, had been in with 5 champions, but never won a world title. I asked him if he could turn back the clock to one fight in his career, what might it be?
If I could turn back the clock, I would think the fight would be 1985, December 2. I was 27-0, awesome. I mean, could fight 15 rounds and feel good after that and say, let's do 3 more. It was in the Fennick fight in Australia. Jeff Fennick and I, we rumbled for 15 rounds. I thought I outpointed him, but you can't beat Fennick in Australia. I don't care what you do. So if I could have an opportunity at fighting a fight again on fair terms, on terms in which the fight was judged properly, I would like to fight the Fennick fight again. And who's to say that after that fight, with the win, that my career wouldn't have taken a turn in the other direction? Because you see, after the Fennick fight, everybody wanted to use Jerome Coffey as a stepping stone. And that is what my career turned out to be after the Fennick fight. So I would have liked to have had an opportunity to fight that fight again and come out victorious, and who's to say what would have occurred.
Well, Joe, that's interesting. You know, there's so many poignant stories in boxing, and that's one of them. He had beaten 2 world champions before Fennick, and he feels that had he beaten Fennick, then the whole thing might have been different for him.
But he said it's almost impossible to win a fight in Australia against Jeff Fennick or any other Australian, but his career took a downturn, a spiral like you wouldn't believe after that. He, after the Fennick fight, he lost almost immediately. He got knocked out by Espinoza, had a draw with Capri Lipkin, whoever the heck that is, and it continued from there.
On the other hand, you have the youngster there, and there he is, Eddie Croft, who has 17 fights, a local hero here from San Mateo, fighting for the title tonight. He has a martial arts background, and in fact, he's an instructor now in Taekwondo, 2nd-degree black belt. But with all that experience on the other side, I had to ask Eddie Croft what he feels, that he has going for him in his favor.
My youth will be to my advantage. I'm a young guy, I'm strong, hungry, coming up. He's been in against a lot of good fighters, and, I think he's a little battle-worn. Whether he wants to admit that or not, that's just a reality of boxing. You've been in a lot of wars, and you start to slow down a little bit. I think he's lost a step, and I'm going to be able to catch up to him. I'm still, really new at this game. I've only been a pro for 2 years. Martial arts is my life. It's taught me to be disciplined. It's taught me to focus and, really reach and strive hard for all my goals. I think it's really played a big part in the training and, as far as being able to reach out and strive for what I want to get out of boxing, it's played a big part that way. As far as skills, it's helped me improve my balance. I think I have better balance than most of the boxers out there today. And it has hindered me in some ways, but it's definitely helped me more than hindered me. And I also have a lot of people coming from my karate school, and a lot of people from the martial arts community in the Bay Area that come and support me, and that really helps me out a lot too.
And Joe Goosen, in your career and being around fighters who have come from the martial arts and from kickboxing, have you found that it has helped them or hindered them going into the ring, as he feels it's helped him?
Well, it's helped the ones that have been successful. There have been a lot of kickboxers that have tried it that haven't been successful. Troy Dorsey, of course, it's been successful. Cobb, to a certain extent, and so on and so forth. But he's right on one part. They seem to have great balance, these kickboxers. And let's see if that helps them. And hopefully Jerome Coffey lost that step that he was talking about for a victory tonight. That's what he's going to need, because Coffey is a...
Well, he sounds like he's almost counting on it. We'll have to wait and see. And now let's go up to David Mercado for the ring introductions.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's get it on! This is the main event of the evening. 12 rounds of boxing for the WBC Continental America's Super Bantamweight Championship. Seated at ringside and supervising for the WBC is Mr. Sam Macias. Your judges are Bob Smith, Davey Nelson, and Vic Draculich. Your referee and the man in charge of this 12-round championship bout is Mr. Terry Smith. Introducing the principals. First, fighting out of the red corner, this young man tipped the scales at an even 122 pounds. His professional record consists of 35 wins, 8 defeats, 1 draw, 19 of those wins coming by the knockout route. He is wearing the black trunks with the white trim and hails from Nashville, Tennessee. Please welcome the former Olympian, Jerome Coffee Time Coffee! His opponent fighting out of the blue corner. He tipped the scales at 120 3/4 pounds. His professional record, not a single blemish of defeat. 17 victories with 8 big KOs. He is wearing the blue and white trunks with the red trim and hails from San Mateo, California. Please welcome your very own Eddie Prime Time Croft!
Who's your chief second, Mr. Croft? You'll be responsible for the corner. Chief second, you'll be responsible for your corner. You've already been instructed and you went over the rules, and so you're going to be expected to obey those rules. 2 things I want to point out to you, though. In the WBC, there will be, in case of an accidental, but there'll be an automatic draw up to the 3rd round, and after the 3rd round, it will go to the scorecards. The 4th round starts the moment the 3rd round ends. Also, I'm not going to penalize you for every violation, but understand this: any serious violations, you'll get 2 warnings and then a point taken away. That's guaranteed. And any time after that, you'll get another point taken away. Okay? Now, I know I've seen both you guys fight. You're clean fighters, so let's do it right. Okay? Good luck to both of you.
All right, this is a WBC title fight, Joe, so we have their rules.
10-point must-ism, of course, no standing 8 count. 3 knockdown rule has been waived, so you can get knocked down as many times around before the referee stops it. And the bell won't save the boxer except in the last round, as usual. We go tail tape. Here's the big key right here. 34 years old compared to 23. Everything else is basically the same, with the exception of the weight, a couple pounds. But you've got a perfect matchup, the age being the big difference.
All right, crowd solidly behind the striped-trunked Eddie Croft. Boos for Jerome Coffey, but he hardly cares. He's been in everyone's backyard at one time or another.
If they only knew Jerome Coffey, he's a great, great person, a gentleman, and always has something complimentary to say.
He said to me last night, he goes, you know, this is a good kid. He goes, he's kind of like a mirror image of myself. He said he's a good-looking kid. He speaks well. The way he fights. He said, but he's in trouble tomorrow night.
Well, but he prefaced that by giving a compliment, and that's the way Jerome Coffey is. He's a real gentleman.
Now, Eddie Croft said that he felt that this would, in fact, be a chess match because they have similar styles, but he said it won't be a dull match. Just because it's a chess match doesn't mean there's not going to be a lot of punches thrown and a lot of stinging punches thrown. It'll be interesting to see here, Joe, who can establish the better jab between these 2 boxers.
Well, you know, Jerome Coffey right now, he's not really intent on setting up his jab right now, as he is trying to take a look at what Eddie Croft has got. He's throwing the jab out. Right now, he's looking to see where his opportunities are going to be in the next round or 2. He wants to see what little mistakes an inexperienced guy like Croft is going to make and what he's going to do for the next round.
This is just the age-old story of boxing. You have Coffey there in the black trunks. He says he feels this could be the springboard into one final big shot for him at a title, or at least against a name opponent where he could make some big money one more time. Of course, on the other hand, for Eddie Croft, he calls it the biggest fight of his career. It's the one that can catapult him into the next level, get him into the rankings, get him a title belt, and get people looking at him.
Well, definitely. If you add Jerome Coffey to your win ledger, it's a very good win. A lot of up-and-coming guys like Rudy Zavala, Kennedy McKinney have made a name for themselves off of Jerome Coffey. So this is exactly what Eddie Croft wants to do.
And Croft beginning to get to Coffey a little bit with jabs.
Yes, indeed. But you got to expect Jerome to take his time. He's a real vet. He knows, he got a little buzz from that right hand he got hit with by Croft.
First good right hand of the fight coming from Eddie Croft. Croft is 23 years old.
Well, as Terry Smith warned Jerome Coffey for coming in with his head, Jerome Coffey complained of a low blow by Eddie Croft, so let's hope that it gets cleaned up in this. Oh, another good right hand.
Eddie Croft means business tonight. He's come out, he's landed a couple of real good right hands here in the first round. One thing he doesn't want to get to, though, is get a little overexcited, as he could here in his hometown.
Overconfidence against a veteran is the worst thing you can do, and I found that out for myself firsthand.
Coming to the end of a very good first round. This is the WBC Super Bantamweight Continental Americas Championship fight. Eddie Croft, the undefeated youngster from San Mateo, in the stripes of trunks, and the black trunks, the veteran Jerome Coffey, a man who's been in with 5 world champions and beaten 2 of them. Kelvin Seabrooks and Freddie Pendleton.
And of course, Freddie Pendleton, the IBF champ right now, who's fighting tomorrow night against Jorge Paez in Las Vegas. So here Pendleton's at the top of his game, and Jerome's surviving right now, looking for a new life in boxing.
Eddie Croft in the striped trunks started Taekwondo when he was 5 years old as a second-degree black belt. And again, the warning from referee Terry Nelson.
Well, in that first round, Jerome Coffey got buzzed twice with 2 right hands. He was waiting around a little bit too much. He's got to really get some offense going here. He's been laying back, and if that's the case, Croft is just going to take it to him and may put him out if he keeps waiting like this. Coffey looks to be trying to land that right counter over the jab of Eddie Croft. That seems to be what he's looking for here.
Good
as
jab.
He takes a jab.
Good jab by Eddie Croft. You know, Croft felt in looking at this fight, Joe, he had tremendous respect for Coffey and Coffey's speed and boxing ability, but he said, you know, Coffey has always been the faster guy in his fights, and he said that he thinks it's going to be an unusual situation for Coffey, his opponent, to have a guy that's as fast or faster than he is.
That's right, but I think he was thinking back to the Jerome Coffey of old. Jerome has not been as quick as he once was the past few years. If he had been, he would have gotten beaten by guys he probably would have beaten 10 years ago. I'm talking about Kennedy McKinney and Rudy Zavala. But the point is that Croft right now is really establishing a good jab, putting on pressure, and taking the fight to Jerome Coffey, and looking the stronger of the two.
Croft has gone very flat-footed here in this second round.
Well, he's found out he can walk Jerome down without getting much resistance. That's exactly what he's doing.
And they want him in his corner. They want him to keep backing Coffey up. They feel that Coffey won't fight real good going straight back.
Well, Jerome is known as a boxer counterpuncher, so he's made his living off of backing up in essence. But, you know, at this stage of the game right now, if you're not counterpunching using that speed backing up, you've got to do something other than that. And right now, Croft is kind of mocking Jerome Coffey, saying that his punches weren't hurting at all.
So we come to the end of round number 2 of this title bout. Stay with us. Prime Championship Boxing continues. Prime Championship Boxing continues with round 3 of this WBC Super Bantamweight Continental Americas Championship fight. Jerome Coffey, screen right, veteran of 44 bouts, including 5 against world title holders, the youngster Eddie Croft, who just got tagged with a right hand by Coffey. Moving in, he's in the striped trunks.
Well, you heard the instructions during the corner, during the break, Rich, in the corner of Eddie Croft. They want him to start cutting the ring off on Jerome Coffey, as if not to let him settle into a boxing mode where he's just going back and forth and making things miserable for Eddie Croft. They want him to cut him off, cut off Jerome Coffey, put some hard pressure on him, and really take the fight to him. Which kind of goes against all the word we heard on Eddie Croft, which was he was a boxer, not a heavy puncher. But here he's a lot flat-footed. He's coming in and he's trying to play the role of a puncher here.
It seems to me that Croft feels that already that he can take anything Coffey can dish out.
He's got that air of superiority that he's showing Jerome Coffey.
There's a nice little combination though from Coffey. A couple of jabs, followed it up with a straight right.
And Croft stepped back just a little bit, just enough to get out of the way of that full punch there. And there's Jerome with his head again, and Terry Smith is not going to let him get away with it.
Jerome seems to argue it out with Terry Smith every time.
But he's not fooling anybody. Terry Smith knows that old trick. You look left, look right, and come straight in with your head. And that can catch a rookie off guard if he isn't expecting it. And can cause a nasty cut.
Jerome Coffey trying to use his right hand more. In this third round. I thought he had a better second round. Croft's best round was the first round. And now Coffey trying to pick up the pace, trying to get some combinations going.
Well, what Croft has got to do, he's not going to be able to hit Jerome Coffey all the time to the head. He's got to start going downstairs. When you cut off the ring, you got to go to the body, especially somebody that's 34 years old and whose legs are supposedly shop-worn. Go downstairs, slow the legs down, then go to that head. Early on, you got to hit the body, Rich.
Coffey having a pretty good round here, though, in this third round. Now Croft still coming forward, manages to get to him with a jab.
I think pretty good in the sense that he wasn't getting hit with the same punches he did in the first two rounds, but he's not really showing enough to win a round, as far as I'm concerned.
Come on, Jerome, back on.
That was taken on the shoulder of Eddie Croft.
Eddie Croft is very swift on his feet. He has a very good sense of distance when Jerome comes at him with a punch. He knows how to just step out of the way just enough, a half inch, 3/4 of an inch, to ride that punch out like he did on that overhand right.
Croft missed that wild right, and Coffey trying to make him pay right away. And Coffey looks at him and says, "See that,
See,
son?"
well, and that's why you can't cut a veteran out. Jerome, hopefully, his corner, and he feel that he can turn this fight around by out-slicking Eddie Croft, and that's what he's got to do.
He's human now, right?
He beat this thing. You need the best. No. More money. Mouthpiece.
Still not quite close enough to the
All right, here we go, and we're going to replay where that headbutt took place. Here's Jerome. Look, he went down and came up like a bull. That I don't know if that was unintentional or intentional, but it's an old trick that a lot of old fighters use when they're running into problems. So that could have been construed a couple different ways. Let's see if it happens again. What Terry Smith thinks about it. He'll probably deduct a point.
Jerome Coffey very much in the fight, however.
There it is, right there. Oh, I thought he was calling time because Jerome did come in with his head again.
Leaned in with the head, but they wanted to wipe up some water over in the corner. But right at the end of the round, you saw Croft miss with that right hand, and Coffey immediately follow up on that miss, making him pay there right at the end of the round. Coffey told me, he said to this kid, he goes, he's got a lot of talent, etc., but school starts with the first bell.
Beautiful right hand, and he's got Croft blinking right now.
And he backs Croft up for the first time in the fight, and goes to the body and the head. A lot of these punches are missing. Coffey looking for an opening.
And Croft very relaxed in there. He's seeing everything that's coming in. And doing a good job of fending off the attack by Jerome Coffey.
It was good defensive work, but Croft was tagged originally to get that flurry started. And obviously Coffey was encouraged by the fact that he got there.
That's right.
Now Croft again backing Coffey up. There was just a momentary difference there where all of a sudden Coffey was moving Croft backwards.
Well, he caught him with a good straight right hand by a lower left hand, just like that. Croft had his hand down. You saw him throw it up high because he's gotten hit with that a couple times. And he went well to the body there. Did Croft off the right hand of Jerome Coffey.
Coffey slides along the ropes to get away as Croft launched that left hook. And Coffey, that old professor, Joe, has got some tricks in there.
He's been doing this many years. He's been, fighting since the early 70s, over 22 years, really, Rich. He started he was in the amateur program, the national program, at age 20, so he's been around a long time.
But here comes Croft for the rally now, and backs Coffey into the corner. And a good stiff jab by Eddie Croft. And this is what Eddie Eddie Croft was telling me when he was saying, yeah, it might be a chess match, but it's not going to be dull. And we're getting a lot of action here in this round.
Exactly, and Eddie Croft is definitely forcing this fight for a guy who's not a big puncher and who usually is the boxer, is trying to put on pressure against the veteran Jerome Coffey.
Eddie Croft living right here in San Mateo. Ooh, Coffey, you could hear him grunting as he launched those two shots, but they both missed.
He was really bearing down on that right hand left hook. And like I said, Croft has got an uncanny ability just to step back at the right time.
Coming to the end of round number 4. Stay with us. Round 5 of this title bout still to go.
Coffey left hand low, boom, straight right hand, and that's the one that sent Croft reeling for a few seconds. But Croft came on, I thought, to take the middle and late parts of that round.
There was some concern in Croft's corner, though, that Coffey might have stolen the round because of those punches. They said, hey, Eddie, don't let this guy steal rounds from you.
Well, Jerome looks like he's getting warmed up now. This is the 5th round. He landed a good counter left hook there at the beginning of the round here. So he's starting to get his share of the punches in. This is exactly what he needs to do to start winning some of these rounds.
Both fighters are tense looks on their faces.
Come on, back him up, back him up. Back him up, go ahead.
Croft a little wild with that right hand. That is a better stiff jab by Croft.
Let's go.
Coffey, after a fast start in the first 20 seconds of the round,
Well,
he let down a little bit here.
Right, he's settling back into the counter punching mode here, but he's throwing a few more punches than he did early on.
And again, come on, let's get out there.
Jerome keeps that mouth open. You can see that yellow mouthpiece hanging
I was
out.
just going to ask you if you thought that was an ill-fitting mouthpiece or not.
No, I think it's just by habit, but it's so dangerous to do that. I think he probably, the closer he gets to the guy, he closes his mouth. But from a distance, he probably breathes better through the mouth than his nose. It's very dangerous, though, to have that jaw open like that.
Croft trying to go to the body, but missing. There you see Coffey go left, then go right again. Utilizing some movement.
See, Jerome Coffey's corner is urging him to throw more punches, and he almost got clipped with the right hand standing up on the ropes there. But he's got to do that. He's got to counter more. When he slips and makes Croft miss, he's got to hit the body, loop over the top, do something to win these rounds.
Jerome needs to throw these combinations. It seems as though when he does throw them, that Eddie Croft does stand there and stop for those moments. So
exactly.
Jerome should open up a little bit more, probably.
I would like to see him maybe play the role of the aggressor for a round, see what happens. Because right now, he's not winning these rounds by boxing and counter punching.
By Croft, knocked out the mouthpiece of Jerome Coffey. The left hook and the mouthpiece went flying. Now they've called time here. They're going to replace the mouthpiece. Jerome Coffey looks over at us and winks his eye as if to say, hey, I'm all right, guys. Just my mouthpiece.
Well, we were just talking about that, Rich. That's one of the dangers there. It looks bad. It looks as if you get hit hard because you got your mouth open and the mouthpiece comes out. And it was a grazing punch, so...
Coffey tries to answer back, and the one thing that does do, though, is it makes a real impression in the minds of the judges, Joe. If the round appeared to be pretty close to that point. Back into the corner there with Eddie Croft. Corner complaining to the referee, Terry Nelson.
I don't want just one punch. You got to double it up, okay? Double up here. Don't throw him hard, okay? The hard stuff he's not going to hit you with, just like they're not going to hit you, okay? Slip. Stay in there and work in there. Work on the clinch if you have to, okay? Let him tie you up, then start bringing him up. But you got to go to that body, man. Start jabbing that body, okay?
All right, let's take a look back, Rich, at what we were talking about here with the mouthpiece. Here goes Coffey leaning back. He gets hit by a reaching left hook. He rode the punch out, but the mouthpiece came out as he got hit.
There's Del Torrance talking to Jerome Coffey, and here we go now. into round number 6. Prime Championship Boxing. Coming your way from the San Mateo County Expo Center.
Croft's corner urging him to get inside more, to work the body more, not to throw hard punches, but to set up your hard punches with small combinations, which he didn't do there. He threw a big hard right hand and got countered with a left hook by Coffey.
For those of you just joining us, there have been no knockdowns in the Super Bantamweight Continental America's title fight. Eddie Croft in the striped trunks, Jerome Coffey, the veteran of 44 fights, in the black trunks with a white stripe. Croft moving forward, right hand by Croft. Coffey against the ropes. Knows how to ride with a punch, though, Coffey does.
Yes, he does. Because he just proved it there. He rode a little right hand out by turning his head a little bit. A lot of fighters will work on that in the gym. Have somebody put on a big glove ridge, throw right hands at him, not real fast, and just turn your head to it so you can ride out that punch.
Croft going to the body of Coffey. Fight has been fought mostly at long range.
Of course, his corner, Croft's corner, expecting miracles. They want him to keep Coffey pinned in the corner on the ropes, and it's almost impossible. He's so slick. That's how he gets off. He makes a turn left or right, gets off the ropes. It's a hard man to pin down on the ropes.
He knows how to slide away, side wheel along the ropes and get out.
See a little left movement, a little right movement. You got to keep adjusting. There he is out under the right hand and smiling, knowing he did well.
Sure, and it's up to Croft to try to figure out a way to cut off the ring. That's why he doesn't have to just follow Jerome Coffey around in a circle all night.
Well, in his corner during the round, they told him grab onto him, get him into a clinch so you can work off of that clinch. Keep him in that pocket. Don't let him out of the corner or off the ropes.
Eddie, 3 punches. Go.
You can hear from the corner, they're yelling, Eddie, 3 punches, 3 punches.
Ooh.
Left hook, Eddie Croft. Good solid shot to the chin, followed it up to the body. And Croft now coming strong. Coming forward, trying to see now maybe he can press the advantage. Right hand by Croft. And now Croft beginning to open up. And Coffey talking to him a little.
He told him nothing. It's nothing. And of course, Croft smiled back.
Jerome Coffey knows all the tricks, and if he has to do that, he'll do whatever it takes to survive a round or get out of trouble.
Even though Croft is winning this fight, it's so much fun to watch Jerome Coffey. He's beauty in action. He's not what he used to be at one time, but he's still a slick fighter. And the young fighters can learn by watching Jerome Coffey here.
Well, Eddie Croft is learning his lessons well, and he's coming on. And a combination by Coffey as the round ends. Big smile from Eddie Croft, who really seems to be enjoying the combat here tonight.
Well, he's getting very little resistance in the way of offense from Jerome Coffey, so he can afford to smile. If he was getting a little bit more offense by Jerome, things might be different.
I thought that was Croft's best round.
Definitely one of the best rounds for Croft. We're at the halfway point. We've got 6 more to go. And really, Croft's pitching a shutout.
Come on, man. Come on. Suck it up.
Here we go. Let's look at that left hook. Jerome stepping back, putting his right hand in front of him and set it next to his face.
That mouthpiece almost came out again, Joe.
Here's another angle of it. Boom, right there. Jerome went for a feint and brought his hand forward, and Croft went around that hand that was pulled forward with the left hook.
There's Eddie Croft. Jerome Coffey has not fought in 6 months since he lost to Rudy Zavala, but he said that he was working out steadily with Scotty Olsen in recent weeks.
There's a handful for you. Scotty Olsen, one of the great bantamweights in the top 10 in the world. Scotty the Bulldog Olsen from Canada.
And they were working out in Red Deer. Now Croft moving forward. Left hook by Coffey, and Croft can't get too wild or too crazy or too confident there, because he'll have to pay as he just did there with that left.
That's right. One thing though is Jerome Coffey, his best punch so far, with the exclusion of that one right hand, has been his left hook, but he drops his own left hook his own right hand at the same time, that he may catch a counter hook from Croft if he doesn't keep that right hand solid next to his chin when he hooks. You saw the hook that knocked out his mouthpiece 2 times. It's because the right hand has been low as he's been punching.
Jerome Coffey says he's looking to make his transition into being a trainer very soon. How do you think that he would do as a trainer?
Listen, anytime you get a smart fighter like Jerome Coffey, they make the best trainers because they're thinking fighters. And, ooh, good left hook by Coffey. And if I'm going to have a trainer, I want one that was a slick fighter and a thinking fighter, as somebody who's going to be able to teach me some tricks. This guy's made to order to be a great trainer one day.
Nice right hand by Croft. Croft doing well again in this round.
That's right. It's repetitive, but it's the truth. To add a final note to Jerome Coffey and being a trainer, he's got the right temperament, and he'll get along with fighters. He's got the right personality, and I hope he makes that transition soon. If he loses this fight, if he comes back to win, well, we'll talk about that training thing some other time.
But right now, Eddie Croft is fighting well and could be on the verge of his 18th win. Although, again, remember, we're only halfway through the fight, but there's a good combination by Jerome Coffey, and he's following it up.
Well, this is what he's got to do. He's got to take Croft into deep waters here, take him deep into the fight, and try to catch him with something clean.
Coffey now enjoying a good minute, at least, here of boxing in this round. He's landed several combinations, landed some good, clean shots into the final 30 seconds of the round, and Coffey appears to be winning this round.
Yeah, and this may be the first round that I've given to Jerome. Even though got in with a good left hook, that right hand down again.
And that momentarily stuns Coffey.
As he holds on.
One good shot can turn the tide. Croft, not known as a power puncher, remember. He has only 8 knockouts in his 17 victories. There's another good shot by Croft. That one hurt Coffey.
His way to winning. He got hit with several of those left hooks because the right hand being down in that round, and cost him the round. It was the one round I was going to give to him, but Croft took it at the end.
Coffey did have some good moments also in round number 3. And he gets caught there with a right hand. He had momentarily in the 3rd round had stunned Croft and had him backing up. But Croft coming forward, coming on strong again, but Coffey trying to answer right back. Jerome likes to throw punches in bunches.
When he decides to throw a combination, he will throw a number of punches, but they've been too far and few between. They've been picking up, though, as of the last few rounds. He's been picking up the pace a little bit, but he's got to do something drastic. He's got to hurt Eddie Croft. How he's going to do it, I don't know, but he's got to make an impression on Eddie Croft and slow him down a little bit. Eddie Croft really has no respect for Jerome Coffey's power and or boxing skills.
Trying to walk right through him now is Eddie Croft.
This is going to be a great springboard for Eddie Croft if he should go on to win this fight, and a great learning experience. He's going to go back and watch this tape probably 24 times to see what he could have done more of in this fight.
Good combination from Coffey, but again, as he's backing up, losing some of the power on that.
Well, as Croft gets closer to him, I see what Jerome Coffey should be doing is coming up the middle with either left or right hand, because he keeps those elbows flared, does Eddie Croft, and you saw Jerome throwing a little right uppercut, left hook. But I think more of those as Croft comes in, uppercuts, which just landed on Jerome's chin from Croft.
Croft looking very confident.
Oh, when you walk in with both hands down, if you're 2 feet away, that's about as confident as somebody can get.
There you go, there. And again, let's go. Stay on that body.
Croft really digging in some good, solid body shots here.
Final 30 seconds now in the round.
Let's go. Come on.
Coffey was real busy in the first minute and a half of this round, but it's slowed up a little now.
It looks like he's lost a little snap on his punch too, Rich. I don't know if the body shots are finally, or the body shots he took in the beginning of this round are catching up to him now, but it looks like he'd slowed him down a little bit, those 2 good body shots that he got here.
There goes the mouthpiece again. They'll let the round wind down and out, and as it does, the round comes to an end. Croft, very confident, looks at Coffee, smiles, nods his head. There's Jerome Coffee, beginning to look a little the worse for wear now in his corner. A little fatigue, I think, beginning to set in with Jerome.
Well, you know, he doesn't have any big bumps or bruises on him, but I think really what's happening right now is Jerome Coffee is seeing the handwriting on the wall, Rich. He's so far out of this fight, he needs a knockout. Here we go. Here's a combination by Coffee, one of the few. Left, right, and a left jab back, a right hand, which was partially blocked. And here's the mouthpiece going, boom, right hand. It was halfway hanging out anyway, and Jerome rode that punch out. It wasn't a solid punch. It was more the fact that he just had his mouth open.
You know, the funny thing about it, Joe, is that he seems to be Coffee. He lands clean punches every round. He will land at some point,
A few of them.
Just not enough to win the round.
Exactly. Well, that's where the youth is being served in Eddie Croft's favor right now. I think he's got a lot more energy and vigor to go ahead and put this type of pressure on and throw more punches.
This is round 9 of a 12-rounder, WBC Continental America Super Bantamweight title. Rich Murata along with Joe Busa, and you're watching Prime Championship Boxing, and we just saw Prime Championship punch from Eddie Croft. A good, strong right hand that knocked Jerome Coffee back. And now Coffee trying to put his left jab to good work. And the fans chanting, Eddie, Eddie. Remember, he's from right here in San Mateo.
Well, you know, the fans at home, I hope some of you can appreciate how great Jerome Coffee really was at one time. And you may be seeing the last of Jerome Coffee in the boxing ring if he doesn't win this fight.
Jerome trying to come from underneath and then over the top. Left hand to the body, right hand over the top of that right miss. Croft certainly not slowing down in the least.
No, he looks like he's really building up a little bit more momentum, a lot more confidence. He's starting to take the body a little bit. And, you know, we've still got 10, 11, and 12 to go. You know, it's not beyond belief, like you mentioned in the break, that Eddie Croft may stop Jerome Coffee if Coffee doesn't do something drastic.
If Coffee gets beat, it won't be because of these fans in the crowd. As we talked about earlier, he went 15 with Jeff Fenech in Australia and nearly won that fight, a very close fight.
That's when Jeff Fenech was at his peak, when he was a bantamweight. And he was a very, very vicious puncher and non-stop puncher.
Hope you saw that combination moments ago from Coffee. Stopped Croft in his tracks momentarily. You can hear the punches of Jerome Coffee every time he throws Jerome right down in front of us, gets thrown down, and it's not a knockdown. Good little counter right from Coffee. You know, when one man consistently puts pressure on, as Eddie Croft is doing here, that too can just wear a guy down, and I think that's what's happening here finally.
Well, that combined with that good right hand he took, the few body punches that Jerome got hit with, you're 100% right. But look at Jerome fight.
Yeah, he is fighting back, and he landed a good, solid combination. And look at Croft smiling. He's enjoying the fight. He's in command, yes, but he seems to enjoy it when they mix it up.
I'll tell you one thing Jerome Coffee has, it's a lot of heart. You don't stay in this game that long, fight the great fighters he's fought without having heart as well as talent.
Here's the bell to end round 9.
Hold your feet behind you. You know what I mean?
And we go into the corner once again with Eddie Croft.
Nice feet, Brad.
Eddie.
Get the corner.
We'll get that. Right hand that misses, and here's the, if I'm not mistaken, a left hand. There it is, a jab. Right hand missed by Coffee, and that really didn't show a whole heck of a lot there. But
Let the last one be hard.
you know, the point is that Croft is really taking this fight to Coffee. Coffee isn't offering enough offense during the round, just spurts, and it's not going to cut it. And I've got Croft pitching a shutout every round.
All right, we are in round number 10 of this WBC Super Bantamweight Continental Americas Championship fight on Prime Championship Boxing. Rich Morata, Joe Goosen ringside. Next week we'll be in Michigan. Tyrone Trice, Joe Lipsy. Hope you'll be with us for that one next Friday night as our Prime Championship Boxing Series continues. There again, Joe, in that fight, Trice and Lipsy, we're going to have a veteran, Trice, who have 50 fights, against Lipsy, a kid who's undefeated himself, coming up.
Mirror image of this fight, but you've got two bigger punchers. That's the difference there. Trice and Lipsy are both big punchers, and that fight most likely won't be a distance fight, Rich.
And this fight, as Eddie Croft predicted, would be a chess match, but would not be dull. There goes the mouthpiece again, out of the mouth of Jerome Coffey from a solid left hook by Eddie Croft. And now referee Terry Nelson will let them fight on. And the mouth of Jerome Coffey is wide open right now, and he is getting hit with solid and clean punches. Eddie Croft may have a chance to do it here. He's got Coffey backing up. And Croft coming strong, but look at the technical work still, the boxing savvy of Jerome Coffey to get underneath those punches, and now Terry Nelson with a break in the action will call for time and put the mouthpiece back in.
Well, and you see, Terry Smith did the right thing. You wait for the action to break until there's a lull in the action to put the mouthpiece back in, because, of course, Coffey could have spit it out had he wanted to slow the action down, but that's not why the mouthpiece came out. It was knocked out.
Croft coming up from underneath with uppercuts. There he goes to the body, mixing it up pretty good is Eddie Croft. Jerome Coffey just seems to be wearing down. Those 34 years weighing a ton on the shoulders of Jerome Coffey right now.
Ooh. Well, here's Jerome letting it all hang out. You know he's been hurt, he's been hit hard, but yet he's still fighting back. Jerome Coffey, if he goes out, he's going to go out fighting.
Eddie Croft kind of pushed Terry Smith away. Yeah, let me fight. Coffey tried to measure him there for a right hand, but it was blocked by Croft. He didn't want a body shot. Here's a good right by Jerome Coffey. Tries to follow it up with another right.
Well, with very little effect, as Eddie Croft just keeps traipsing right on in. Coffey's corner urging him to keep throwing punches. They thought he had Croft hurt, but not really.
No, they were very encouraged by what happened. You can hear Coffey grunting again as he mixes it up. There's the bell. Crowd loves the action. You know, it must feel great, Joe, to a kid like Eddie Croft to be fighting in his hometown, to be on the way and in a fight like this to what would be the biggest win of his career, and to hear those chants of Eddie, Eddie.
Exactly. There's nothing better, Rich, really, to go in some of these small towns with the local heroes here. A guy that's got potential to go places and see him really blossom and prosper. And here he's against a veteran, and if Eddie Croft didn't have the wares to go on, Jerome Coffey would be into this fight a lot more. He's legitimate, is Eddie Croft. Here's the replay. Coffey landing a right hand. And, of course, look at that left hook, which sent the mouthpiece going. And this is where the rally began for Eddie Croft. Here's a little inside work now. Jerome landing a little uppercut, but being countered. Here's that big right hand by Eddie Croft that momentarily stunned Jerome Coffey. But Coffey looks bright-eyed and bushy-tailed here. He's focused and wide-eyed right now. He knows what's going on. He's got 2 more rounds left to pull something out of his hat here.
Round 11 of a scheduled 12-rounder in Prime Championship Boxing, and a little tricky counter punch, right hand by Jerome Coffey. They had the ice bag on the eyes of Eddie Croft between rounds, Joe.
Well, that sometimes can be preventive medicine. He's got a little swelling under his left eye here, and it's not something that looks to me very threatening, especially with 6 minutes more to go. But you know, sometimes you do that just to keep the face, good right hand, just to keep the face cold. It keeps the swelling down.
Coffey just walks away, tries to throw the jab out, get that jab to work to see if he can't keep this youngster out. There goes the mouthpiece of Jerome Coffey out again.
Now, you know, if Terry Smith thought it was intentional, he could deduct a point from Jerome Coffey. but he's getting hit with punches that are knocking it out. He's not getting hit with a good punch and then spits it out later.
He is
taking one out. It has happened, and that's up to his discretion.
Jerome Coffey looks over at us and shakes his head.
You know, I know Jerome for many, many years. He's out of the top-ranked gym in Las Vegas. Like I said, a gentleman, and I can appreciate a gentleman in this game. And I think he'd like to be doing better than he is. He just, I think, is frustrated at this point.
Good left jab by Jerome Coffey. That was the fourth time that the mouthpiece had come out in the fight. As we mentioned early that you could see that Jerome's mouth was open. I thought that the mouthpiece might be ill-fitting. Joe figured that it might just be a breathing situation as far as Jerome's concerned, but one way or the other, that mouthpiece keeps coming out.
Guess what, Rich? It is an ill-fitting mouthpiece because a good-fitting mouthpiece, you can have your mouth open and it's almost impossible to pull them out in the corner. That's a well-made one by a good boxing dentist. This is a generic mouthpiece that you can get at any Big Five or Auschwitz, so it's not really a mouthpiece deserving of a guy who's been where Jerome Coffey has been. It's a hindrance.
Coffey trying to mount a rally here. Has landed several punches in this round. Some good clean shots. Coffey having a pretty good 11th round. But he gets hit with the one good hard right that turns it right back around again by Eddie Croft. Good uppercut from Croft with the left hand.
And you can see, because of that ill-fitting mouthpiece, that mouth is bleeding profusely by Jerome Coffey. And I'm sure that's cause and effect of that mouthpiece and having it knocked out a few times. And, of course, some of the great punches he's taken.
Yeah, I see a little blood below the left eye now also of Jerome Coffey. Coming to the end of round number 11. Coffey still fighting hard, still throwing punches. Into the final 10 seconds now, and then there'll be one round left of this title fight in San Mateo. Stay with us for the final round. Here we go in the 12th and final round of this WBC Super Bantamweight Continental Americas Championship fight. You're watching it on Prime Network. It's Prime Championship Boxing, and we've seen a good action fight here tonight. Eddie Croft, 17-0, trying to win his first title and to run his record to 18-0. The great veteran Jerome Coffey, veteran of 44 fights, 5 world champions he has fought, 2 he's beaten. Fighting a youngster here tonight, but it could be that youth is prevailing here this evening. But Jerome Coffey is not going to go out like a lamb.
No, not at all. Of course, Rich, you know, I've been looking for a way to give Jerome one round, you know, somehow. And I think maybe as good as I can give him is maybe a draw on that, an even round in that last round. But so far, it's been Croft all night, every round, and not by a slim margin, by large margins each round. Ooh, a little low.
Although it seems at some point in every round that Jerome Coffey has his moments.
Of course, that last round is
exchange of right hands, and Croft's was the better. And Coffey had to walk out of there. They both launched rights at the same time.
And Jerome's hands are dangerously low for somebody who was just buzzed with a good right hand like that. But look at him come back.
See, good left hook this time by Croft.
Well, there's Jerome pulling out again with the head up and hands down. Just like that again, he got hit with the hook. You got to pull those hands up or weave your way out or jab your way out. Don't just walk out.
He's got Coffey backing up here and slowing down a little bit in this 12th round. Croft pressing the action, moving forward. Coffey wants to finish on his feet, finish in a distance fight. Just walking away. Joe, I don't know how much time we'll have to wrap up at the end of this fight, but I think we should get some comments from you on the future of Eddie Croft here.
Well, Eddie Croft definitely has proven his worth right now. He's gonna, like I said, he's gonna look at this fight and really garner a lot from it. Because it's the first veteran he's fought with these type of credentials. It'll give him a lot more confidence, and if he develops a little bit more power, which is possible, this kid could definitely put himself in serious contention.
As It's been a very fast-paced fight. A lot of punches thrown.
See, he's got a lot of natural ability, Eddie Croft. He's got good eyes, good reflexes, quick hands. So, this is what it takes to get to the top, Rich.
All right, the crowd enjoying it. They're into the final 10 seconds. Crowd enjoying it. We're going to have a real roar here when the final bell ends. Look at the flurry to end the fight. There's the bell. Fans standing all around ringside. They enjoyed this one.
I enjoyed this fight, Rich. It was really, a coming out party for Eddie Croft here. And, really, this kid can go places.
Well, we will find out about the decision of this Super Bantamweight Continental America's title fight when Prime Championship Boxing continues. Stay with us for the official announcement. Seeing a red-hot Super Bantamweight Continental America's Championship fight here at the San Mateo County Expo Center. There's Eddie Croft. He's all smiles right now. Good-looking kid, well-spoken. Very nice youngster, and he feels that he has won his first title in the ring. But for that, we're going to have to find out if, in fact, he has. We will await the official decision and the rendering of it from the ring announcer, David Mercado.
Let test.
David Mercado momentarily has lost the sound on his microphone. May have to pull out the old megaphone somewhere and do it the way that they did the old days. Joe Goosen, my partner, had Eddie Croft way out in front. Eddie's certainly confident that he's about to get this decision. He appeared to be in control of the fight throughout, although Jerome Coffey had many good moments throughout the fight. They do have a belt up in the ring and will make a championship presentation.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a unanimous decision. Judge Davey Nelson scores about 119 to 108. Judge Bob Smith scores about 116 to 111. And Judge Vic Draculich scores about 117 to 110 for the winner and the new WBC Continental America's Super Bantamweight Champion, Eddie Primetime Croft!
Well, David Mercado got his microphone back just in time to announce Eddie Primetime Croft. There's the belt around the proud champion's waist. He is the new Super Bantamweight Continental America's champion after taking that unanimous decision and lopsided decision. We'll be back here with Prime Championship Boxing at San Mateo right after there. Joe Goosen waiting up in the ring now with the winner and loser, Eddie Croft, the new champ. Let's go up to Joe to talk to him.
All right, we only got a few seconds here, Eddie, so I'm going to ask you a quick question. Give me a quick summary on how you felt you did tonight and where you're going from here.
I felt pretty good in the beginning. Started getting a little tired at the end. He was tricking me. He had a lot more than people were giving him credit for.
Okay.
He taught me a lot.
Okay, good. Jerome, I got to ask you this. Is this your last fight? You're going on from here? You've done so much in this game. You're 34. I know you got aspirations of doing some training. Where are you going from here?
Well, I'm gonna get on my knees and talk to God about it, see what he thinks. But I felt real good. I went 12 rounds with a truly talented young man. I wish him nothing but the best. I think he's straight ahead from here now.
Listen, if there's anything you learn to be a true gentleman, which I know you already are from Jerome. Congratulations, Jerome, on your career, and Eddie, on your fight tonight. Rich, back to you ringside.
All right, Joe, thank you very much, and we'll return to wrap things up here from the San Mateo County Expo.